Okay, this is the rubber room. I just want to very quickly explain in terms of what we did last night with this class with the advanced level students. Okay, basically what we did is we were looking at verb patterns, and we're looking at the various patterns you can use with various verbs. And in this room, as you can see, there are no tables. This was taking advanced students well out of their comfort area, and what we did, very simple, was have a warm-up exercise, first of all, where we had them asking a questionnaire to get the various forms, like do you enjoy doing stuff, etc., etc. While they were doing that, I wrote on these boards here the various verb patterns. So one verb pattern here, which was ing form. Over here, we also did one with full infinitive. And over here, by the whiteboards, we had on one side where you have ing or full infinitive with no change of meaning, and one where there's a slight change of meaning. Afterwards, you can see that we have these various verbs here, which we handed out to the students and gave them, and what they did was stick them on the board, so in the right form. There was lots of argument, and the students were taken well out of their comfort zone. What I found was that in many ways, they reverted back to this kind of excited learners who are still learning English, and we took something that should be fairly basic and made it new. Quite a lot of argument, generated a lot of interest. After that, what happened was that the students then were put into a table, put into groups by a board, so 4 groups, 1 to each board, and they wrote down example sentences. This generated more argument, and in fact they then changed their mind about some of them. Then we did the reveal on the board, on the whiteboard, where we had the verb patterns. And following that, what we did was to give them some cutouts where they then answered, they read out a sentence, and then a member of their team had to come up with the correct answer. So, I enjoy blah 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 at the weekends, and they had to kind of fill it in. Then, after that, we looked at specific verbs, in particular these ones, for example, remember doing and remember to do, which I stuck around the board. Underneath them you'll see that there are definitions. Now, what happened was I stuck the verbs around the room, and then I gave the definitions to the students, so we kind of turned around what we'd been doing beforehand. They then walked around and added the definitions to the wall. Interestingly, they got it all correct, with the exception of try, which they argued about for quite a long time. That was interesting. We then kind of followed that up by ensuring the definitions were understood, and then, following that, we then added these verbs, or these sentences, to the boards, having cleaned them. And the students had to come up with their own examples as they walked around the room. So, for example, my 6-month-old nephew has just tried and then eat or to eat. We get an example like this one here. My 6-month-old nephew has just tried to eat a shoe or eating solids. Or my favourite ones are these ones here. I didn't remember inviting my neighbours to barbecue, and I like our neighbours, but I regret to say, well, you can see their examples there. Overall, and here's some more examples here. Overall, I have to say that this was pedagogically fascinating to do. I'm not sure if this lesson actually fulfilled its aims in terms of a lesson plan, but what it did do was expose their weaknesses in ways they hadn't seen. That it showed that they were still learners, which we don't often think about with advanced students. We often think it's about vocabulary. I think I demonstrated totally the fact that we still have these learners. They still need to learn things, not have things fine-tuned. So from that point of view, the lesson went very well.